Coming up on Auburn Gymnastics 360, the Tigers play in the snow, highlights of Auburn's win at Air Force, the team reflects on its experience at a military academy, Nikki Galuzzo and Brittany Webster take us in the gym, and a look ahead to the Iron Bowl of Gymnastics. War Eagle and welcome to Auburn Gymnastics 360. I'm Carla McCall. The Tigers traveled to Air Force for the last of 3 consecutive away meets. In between practice and competition, they were able to find some time to have fun in the snow.
I'd never been to Colorado before, so it was definitely a really unique place for me to visit. I was surprised just to see all the mountains right when we hopped on the bus all the way from the airport to the hotel, like a 2-hour drive. Saw them the entire time, and just to see the snow everywhere on the ground, it was just something really, really different than what I'm used to.
This is the first time I'd ever been to Colorado. It was just a really nice experience to see that part of the country, and everything was really nice about their campus and the atmosphere. It was really cool.
It was really fun. I think a lot of us took like 1 million photos of the mountains, and like being there was really cool. It wasn't as cold as we thought it was going to be, but there was lots of snow. We had a snowball fight. Some people made snow angels for the first time, so that was cool.
It was really cool. It was pretty. There was a lot of snow on the ground. The mountains were gorgeous. It was really cool just to see all the snow for like, not the first time, but like I don't get to see snow that often being from Texas. So like we had a snowball fight and everything and made snow angels.
Oh, Caitlin's my roommate, and so any chance for her to see snow, get to play in it like she's 5 years old again, I forget, you know, because I grew up in that. So it's really fun to just see them experience that for the first time.
After playing outside, the team turned their attention inside for their meet against Air Force.
For us, it's a multifold meet. One is to prepare us for postseason in case we get sent out there. Another one is it's just a good meet that challenges us.
It was really chaotic, kind of having almost four different teams there at a time. But at the same time, it kind of brought back the club days where you kind of just focus on yourself. And it was a lot easier for us, I think, to stay focused because we didn't have to worry about, you know, switching back and forth between events.
Well, we had to adjust a lot for this meet, like with the altitude and everything, and it was a different setting having the guys meet going on at the same time. So it was extremely loud, and it'll kind of be like at SECs, like there's a lot of different things that'll be going on, like everyone's going to be going at once, and it'll just kind of help keep us focused and in our bubble, which is what we try to do.
I felt like we started extremely well in the meet. Both bars and vault were very good for us. We had some real bright spots from a number of different competitors on those 2 events.
I think it was a fairly decent routine. Of course, I have my expectations and I'll critique myself to like no end, but I think it was a solid bar routine.
I was really happy that I finally got a score that I thought reflected my performance. I'm still working really hard to maintain my shapes on my cast handstands and just work on landings, but I felt like it was a pretty solid routine.
Ours was pretty good. I swung pretty well and the routine felt decent. It wasn't exactly how I wanted it to go, but I mean, there's always room for improvement in the gym.
Come on! 9! Let's go, Caitlin!
Keep the energy up. Good.
All 3 years that Brittany's been competing for us, she's used the first couple of meets to get used to the equipment, to get used to the competition. And it's just nice to see that she's settling down and doing what she can do for us.
Come on, Cliff! Woo! Yes, Cliff! Here we go, Liz! Come on. Woo!
It was technically a stick, but of course, I didn't feel like it was my best fall, like I didn't have enough pop off the horse.
Come on in! Woo! Yeah!
yourself, okay? You might feel tired, but go for it, and your training will pay off. All right, let's go.
I do think the girls were worried all night about floor because of the conditioning. I think we were a little shaky on floor just because, you know, they were. You feel like you're out of gas, but you got to trust yourself a little bit. And I think we did actually a pretty good job on floor. We fought through some adversity there, and with the altitude and with the chaos going on around us, I was pretty happy with floor.
I practice as if I'm going to compete, as if I'm going to be in lineup that week, and when we get to the meet I do the same thing. Like my warm-up for this past weekend in Colorado was no different than what it is at the other meets. I literally did the exact same thing because I have to prepare as if I'm competing.
That was so hard. That was like the hardest floor routine I think I've ever done. So I guess it didn't show, but oh my gosh, that whole routine I was huffing and puffing like, oh my God, keep your eyes open. Small breaths, don't pass out. And like I think I was catching my breath up until I started my beam routine for the next rotation.
With 4 of our first 6 meets being top 10 programs, that Air Force Academy is really going to be our last opportunity to experiment. And we put Lucia and Cullen out there on floor in exhibition, not only as a final warm-up for the rest of the season, but also to see, you know, how they would react under pressure on the road, and not only how they'd score, but how they'd perform for us. And they did a fantastic job. Very, very encouraging to see that.
I'm so proud of them. They did a phenomenal job, especially Lucia doing her first exhibition in a high altitude, away from home, like all that pressure on you. She did such a good job. I'm so proud of her. And Colin is really getting it down. I'm so proud of both of them.
I just try to stay calm, cool, and collected are Jenny's favorite things to tell us before we get on the beam. And I just tell myself to breathe. And actually I like to say one and done, because that's what we do in practice, one and done, and then it's the only routine I have to do. So just trying to start off on a good note, start the team off on a good note so that we can continue the ball rolling, and we want to get a good score as a baseline. So then from there, everybody's score will hopefully go up.
It was nice to go up and hit a routine I know I could do. It's kind of been a work in progress and practice to get back to that kind of level of gymnastics, so I was just happy that it went well.
We really trust the people that are put in lineup. We see them practice every single day, and we see them work really hard and hit routines consistently in the gym. So if something happens at a meet, it happens. Like, it's basically going to happen. You can't have a perfect meet every single Friday night. We just kind of evaluate what happened and go back to the gym and work on those mistakes. We were experimenting with our lineup, and we were experimenting with some new routines, changing some routines around. And we had to do it, but we knew there was a price we were going to have to pay, and we ended up having a couple of hiccups in there, but for the most part, very successful meet.
Not only did they come home with the win, but the trip to Colorado gave the team a greater appreciation for a cadet's lifestyle.
To me, it's a privilege to be able to face those teams. I have one of my former gymnasts on the Air Force Academy women's team, and just an immense amount of respect for what those cadets go through and for what they're going to do for our country in the future.
They had a lot of team unity because it wasn't just gymnastics that was like, it wasn't the gymnastics bond that they had, it was something else that they had, and it did look like they were having a lot of fun.
It's really admirable to see a team like that. You see the flag on their leotards, and when we're saying the national anthem, they all stand the exact same way.
They do so much preparing to be soldiers for their country, and then having gymnastics, which we think is like, we're like, oh, okay, like gymnastics, like we love it, but then there's also like, do we love this today? But theirs is like, I get to go to gymnastics today, I get to take a break from all of this military training, and I get to go in the gym and do what I love, and it's inspirational, really.
Well, I didn't really know what to expect since they were in the military and everything. I was expecting them to be very disciplined, but it was nice to see that they were having a lot of fun at the meet, just like us.
It was really nice to see how much fun and how much they were enjoying all that goes into being a college gymnast, because I couldn't imagine. I mean, I dedicate school and gymnastics to my life, and they do school, gymnastics, and they know that afterwards they're going to go serve their country. So it's really a humbling experience to see all that they do.
Actually, one of the girls who was on the team, she's from Georgia, and I did club gymnastics with her. So I guess my parents talked to her parents a lot before the meet and kind of found out a lot about what it's like. Freshman year in college alone is difficult, but going through the things that they had to go through as a freshman, you know, a lot of them are really far away from home, so I had a lot of respect for the things that they were able to do to be able to go out and compete on top of handling more than most student athletes do. I thought I had a lot on my plate. I really don't have any idea what it can be like.
Some of the girls on the team knew some of those girls that were there, and I think that they're fully aware of what those people are going through right now. I think there's a lot of mutual respect, not just gymnastics-wise, but just a lot of respect for what they're doing for us.
Now it's time to go in the gym. Today, Nikki Galuzzo and Brittany Webster demonstrate a vault.
Hey, I'm Nikki Galuzzo and this is Brittany Webster, and today she's going to show you a Yurchenko layout on vault. She's going to run down the vaulting runway, she's going to hurdle, do a round off onto the springboard, a back handspring on the vaulting table, and do a laid out flip to her feet. She's getting ready, she's running down the vault runway, and here's her hurdle, round off, back handspring, lay out flip, and stick. Finish. Next time you're at a gymnastics meet, look out for a Yurchenko on the vault. That's it from the McWhorter Center.
This week, we're back at home for one of the most anticipated meets of the year. It's the Tigers versus the Tide.
I expect the gymnastics to be really good on both sides. You know, they're not ranked 5th for no reason at all. They're a very quality team. We work with our girls basically on, we can only control our performance, and the scoring takes care of itself, and at the end of the night we look up and see what happens. But I think it's going to be close, and I hope it's going to be close, because our goal is to hang with everybody who's at the top, and hopefully we'll be there at the end and have a shot at knocking them off. But you know, we'll have to see. It has to come from us first. It has to be us doing our job first before anything can happen.
Well, it's Alabama, so it's going to be a big meet. Like, they're a rival school, and they are a top 5 program.
It's the most wonderful feeling just to see all these people come out for a meet. I mean, against Bama nonetheless, they're gonna show, but hopefully the whole place is absolutely packed. We don't see any empty seats, and Bama really gets to experience what our home crowd is like.
It's easy to feed off the crowd when they're loud, like, and pumping you up. Like, it's so much easier to do your floor teen or vault or whatever event. Granted, I tune everyone out on beam, but it's just one of the things I've learned to do. But on all the other events, like, you hear everyone cheering for you, and it just gives you that extra push and a little bit more like adrenaline to keep going, and really just feed off the crowd.
I'm really excited to be back home, just to get back on a normal schedule. Just being able to get caught up with school and everything, but just being in the home atmosphere is a lot of fun.
I don't really think about the rivalry. It's another meet against another great team, and that should be motivation enough to get us to get in gear and do what we love to do.
Well, it's Valentine's Day, and they're giving away diamond necklaces, so bring your husband or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your wife, and hopefully you'll win one of those. I think that would be a pretty special night. But the other thing is, it's another all Auburn, all orange night. It's us against Alabama. It doesn't get any bigger than that in gymnastics, so I hope everybody shows up and supports it.
That's it for this episode of Auburn Gymnastics 360. We hope to see you in orange on Friday night as the Tigers take on Alabama. War Eagle.